All right, here we go. We are doing another whopping Friday uh, with yours truly. We have an awesome winery, Copain, uh, with Ryan Zepaltas, which I feel like I met Ryan a long time ago, and we'll kind of go about talk about that as we kind of go into this. So, man, welcome. Happy Friday, everybody. I hope everyone's doing well, staying healthy. This is good. I feel like I'm seeing the light at the end of the tunnel for everybody, and everyone seems to be out there and selling more wine, which is great. You know, getting let's get this industry rolling. That is what I want to do safely. So, yeah, what up, everybody? What up, Dawson, Lacey? What's going on, everybody? Good to see y'all. We'll get Copain on here shortly. Everybody having a good Friday, though? You know, give me some love. Like, what we got going on? You know, what's up with everybody? Oh, Monomar, what up? What up? Nice. It like hailed, snowed here in San Luis Obispo yesterday, and well, more Rio Grande and a little bit of Paso and stuff. So it was a little crazy. There we go, a little Copain up in here. All right. You certified too, Copain? You got the check and everything, man. I gotta get on that. All right, let's get you in here. There we go. Oh, Copain, you got to upgrade your app before you can get on here. I'm sorry, I don't know why it says that. But upgrade your app real quick, and you can get on here. That's funny. I've never seen that before. So, yeah, you're verified. Seriously, you got to upgrade your app, though. It won't let me add you until you upgrade your Instagram. Random. Never seen that before. But it's you and somebody else that's on here that says that you gotta upgrade. No worries, we'll get it. We get it. Sorry, Ryan, man. I apologize for that. It is what it is, man. It was technology in 2021, which I thought we'd leave this in 2020, but you know, it's all good. It's all good. All good. Don't worry. We good. Let me know when you upgrade. What's up? Emily Chapman, I guess. What we got? Who else is on here? I don't know. Horton. I'm gonna say your name's Kyle Horton. I don't know. Hope you're doing well. Look at this. What's up, everybody? Gary. Yeah, I know, dude. I'm sorry, Dawson. He was outside. We have construction going on in our home right now, so I just let him inside. That's probably a mistake on my part, but who doesn't love puppies, especially really handsome doodle pups. So you know, it is what it is, man, right? It's Friday. Puppies like to party on Friday as well. Let's just be honest. I'm just gonna drink a little of this Copain since I have it here while we're doing this. Come on, what are you guys doing on Friday besides watching this? Come on, jump on here before we get Copain on here. Come on, give me something. You know, I hope people are drinking Copain. Frankly, we're gonna drink a really cool wine. I've had it a couple times today. Opened it, good to go. Boom. Let's do this. Let's get Copain. All right, here we go. Boom.
Sorry about that. I'm feeling more like a boomer every day.
Oh, dude, man. I mean, who knew you had to like upgrade it all the time? I don't know.
I haven't done a live for a while, I guess, but I'm here now.
You haven't done a live for a while? I hate you, dude. I've been doing lives like multiple times a week.
I feel like I'm on Teams and Zooms more than lives,
Yeah.
or pre-recording stuff and launching it. But anyways, I made it.
Yeah.
Sorry. I
No,
was
no
here.
worries. No, no, you're all good, man. Don't worry about it. I've had worse problems on here, so don't worry at all, man. How you doing? You guys
Doing
doing well
good.
over there?
We are, yeah. It's ended a good week. Racked a bunch of wines to tank for bottling, and yeah, we got rain this week. It's not nearly enough, but hey, anything helps, right? So
Yeah, we got about like 2 inches in this storm, which for us we really barely get any rain. Um, we just rain misses us here, so it's nice to get a couple inches during. I mean, we got hail yesterday in the vineyard, which wasn't awesome at all. I don't. It kind of ripped through some leaves, but it's fine.
yeah,
It'll be okay.
how far out are you on the vines?
So we have a vineyard that's got it's two inches out already.
Oh wow,
But so
that's
we've
scary.
got yeah. Like I said, it ripped through leaves. It just kind of ripped through them. They were teeny tiny little baby hail, so it'll be fine.
Good.
If that's the worst that happens. So, well, dude, good to see you.
You too.
I don't think I haven't seen you in a while. I feel like, and I don't know how much the two of us have interacted. Wappin but I always remember you as Siduri, frankly.
Right, right.
That's just in my mind. It's probably because Adam is probably one of the loudest guys. He's a microphone himself, and that's probably why I remember you through all that. So.
Yeah, I
Before
was.
we get into your, this wine and Copain, let's talk about Ryan, man. What's you have a crazy history. I mean, you've done like a ton of different things. So let these people know.
Well, yeah. So I've been the winemaker GM at Copain Wines now. I think it's going on 4 years. I kind of came in at the end of the 17 vintage. So 2018 is my first real vintage, but I finished off blended the 18s. But yeah, prior to that, um, I was doing a lot of things at one time, which was driving me crazy. But yeah, so I kind of grew up working for Siduri Wines. Man, I did, I think, 18 vintages with Adam. And simultaneously, while I was working for Adam, I also ran my own label called Zepaltas Wines.
Okay.
And then, I was doing a bunch of different consulting work for some smaller projects. Made the wines for Soliste, which is a small Sonoma Coast Burgundian focused project for about 10 years. And yeah, just a lot of little stuff. I was like,
Yeah.
I had so many hustles going and it was driving me crazy. And when the Copain opportunity came up, it was, hopefully this is my forever job. So it's,
Yeah.
yeah, small, making the style of wines I've always wanted to make, and real focused on just a couple small areas, Anderson Valley and the far Sonoma Coast, with a few outliers, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. I grew up in Wisconsin. Came out here like a little over 22 years ago, and dove right into it that first fall. I started working harvest at a winery called La Crema. Just started digging tanks, dragging hoses, the usual.
Doing the grind. Yeah.
Yep. And then I just, yeah, I kind of got obsessed with the process once I kind of like got my bearings straight. And after doing a couple harvests of La Crema, started to do the world tour and stuff, worked down in New Zealand, traveled to Australia, a few other places. And yeah, just on a lot of those travels was kind of the turning point when I decided I wanted to like take winemaking serious. So yeah, I just kind of worked my way up over the years. When I came back from New Zealand, landed with Adam Lee, and it was a great ride working for Siduri all those years.
Yeah.
Adam opened tons of doors for me. Not only did he teach me, you know, vineyards wine, he also taught me like you can make it, but then you got to sell it too. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know,
That's the big thing, right?
how to
It's
go
fun
work.
to make it, but selling it is
Yeah. So he kind of
really
taught
fun.
me the ways of the industry, distributors, winemaker dinners, pricing, all that kind of stuff. So that was kind of my UC Davis. It was UC Adams. So
That's
yeah.
not too bad. I'm curious, where did you work in New Zealand?
I worked for Villa Maria.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
outside of Marlborough, right?
Yeah, so at the time they had facilities on multiple islands, and they owned a couple small brands. And I actually worked at the original one in the city of Auckland, just outside
Oh,
of.
no way. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah, the one North Island. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
So it
Oh,
was,
cool.
yeah, it was a blast. I mean, that's when I really um, kind of like said, "Oh, I want to do this," because they thought I knew a lot more than I did as an intern. Because I was like, "Oh yeah, I know Pinot. Yeah, I worked at La
Yeah.
Crema," and I think they were just starting to really um, get into their early plantings of Pinot were coming online. And so Michelle Richardson, the winemaker, she was just like, "You're in charge of the Pinot and the Chardonnay room." And I'm like, "Okay, I think this is
Yeah.
what you do." And yeah, I really liked it. Kind of
Yeah.
gave me a lot of responsibility, and I really, really dug it. So
Yeah.
yeah.
No, rad. I did a harvest at Whitehaven in Marlborough, and it was I met Tally. I've been at Tally for like 15 years, and it was much larger than I'd ever done winemaking wise, right? And so it was interesting. It's like you're gonna press Sauv Blanc for 2 months. You're like, all right,
Oh yeah.
cool,
we did,
yeah, all
we
right,
did plenty of that, and there's some crazy stories. Like I remember I was freaking out. I dropped a mag light in a like a 10,000 gallon tank,
yeah, yeah.
and the supervisor's like, "You got to go get it." And I was like, "You're
You're like,
kidding
how the
me."
hell am I gonna get it? Yeah.
He had me going for a while, and then he's like laughed it off. He's like, "Well, you could just rack that tank off tomorrow and go get it." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
thanks."
it'll take a lot for the batteries, yeah, the acid from the batteries. That's funny, man. Well, that's cool, man. You have such a cool history with just going around, which I always think is rad. I love. That's what's great about making wine. You can pop around to different spots and kind of gain more education, I guess, essentially. But and then landing with Adam, which I love Adam. He's such a good dude. And I did Siduri. What's funny is I did this with Siduri last week.
Oh,
So
nice.
this is kind of funny that we're just going boom boom. But tell us about Copain and like what's the whole deal with Copain? I mean, I know it, but I want to make sure everybody else out there knows it.
Yeah, so Copan, was founded by Wells Guthrie,
Yeah.
and when he was transitioning out, and I came over, I grew up as a fan of Copan. They actually started the brand was an early custom crush client of Siduri, so I'd followed that brand since the very beginning,
Okay.
and I really liked the vision Wells had with, you know, being very proud to make California wines, but definitely kind of had old world sensibilities. So never trying to copy Burgundy, but still like feel like, hey, we can make powerful wines in a lighter framework. We feel like we get power, we can get layers, even if we pick at 22 bricks. And, I think he kind of had a sea change early, midway through kind of the development of the brand. And, I like that vision. And, my goal is just to kind of take that spirit and kind of shine it up, massage it, and kind of perfect it. And so, yeah, we're just trying to, we're not trying to go for the world's lowest alcohol. It's like, some of the in pursuit of balance stuff got a little too swung too hard the other way, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Um, and,
Understood. I'm with you.
and at the end of the day, it's like all about bringing delicious, but still, making wines that are classically styled, just more elegant, just a little bit more restrained. We're not trying to make these insipid thin wines, but they still gotta be juicy and delicious. So yeah,
Right.
just trying to achieve freshness, brightness, and just our opinion is we can pick a little earlier, and there's plenty of flavor. There's nothing missing. So, and
Yeah,
that's
and oh, sorry. I was gonna say like the vineyards that you're working with and stuff. It lends itself. It seems to me it lends itself to being able to pick early and having that elegance and that nice flavor. I've always loved these wines from when Wells was there all the way to you. And when did you take over, by the way?
so I inherited the 17 vintage in barrel. So I came over after there, and then so I finished those blends, and then did all the barrel selections and decisions, and then 18's like my first grape to glass vintage.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's like Yeah, just because we're working with Far Coast Vineyards and that middle to deep end of Anderson Valley predominantly, like get really slow paced out incremental ripening. So we actually often pick into October, but you know our sugar levels aren't, they never spike too hard, especially in Anderson Valley. Sonoma Coast can get a little juicier earlier, but yeah, just that's what we're doing. Just trying to, we're not claiming to be natural winemakers, but really, the goal is to not add things, not to take things away. You know, just want the wines to be kind of that lens into the vineyard and taste like the place. So for us, that means using indigenous yeast. That means not using tons of new oak. I mean, we definitely use new oak. There is new oak on our wines, but we're just trying to be real careful. Want the barrels to be the bun, not the burger.
Oh yeah,
and
totally. Yeah.
and yeah, just a real simple philosophy. Try to not mess around. If we can get away with not filtering, we don't filter. Obviously, we filter some stuff just because it needs to be or it makes sense.
Yeah.
And yeah, just yeah, and we're really like stepping up our farming, really trying to elevate that. Moving away. I mean, we're on our second year of organic spray program, and almost all of our estate
Cool.
vineyards, a lot of our growers are either certified or practicing organic, and we're really just trying to have it all match all the way through. So the biggest missing piece of the puzzle is just really kind of perfecting everything in the vineyards, and just yeah, keeping it simple, but
Yeah.
not. So
No,
yeah,
totally, man. No, that what you're saying is like exactly, my mindset and what we do at Tally. That's my exact same thing is, we try to, we practice organic on the things we can and try to be sustainable and not add things if we don't, we try not to add anything. I mean, that's our whole thing is farm great grapes and just kind of let them do their thing. And I appreciate your approach, man. I really like that. So, in saying that, kind of a great segue is this wine that you sent me, which I appreciate. Hopefully, do you have the wine as well?
I do, of
Okay,
course.
sweet.
I don't want to
Yeah,
be a
yeah,
poser.
yeah. Okay, good. Yeah, it's Friday, man. Let's drink some wine.
Yeah, for sure.
So it's funny because my staff and I because I was at the winery. I popped it, let my staff taste it all. I tasted it, and we were debating. Okay, so how would you? Sorry, my dog makes frequent appearances sometimes.
That's
Sorry.
okay. My kids are over here trying to make me laugh. So
Yeah. Oh, perfect. Make them laugh, kids. Make them laugh. This is great. This is chill. So what are we drinking? What are we drinking right now? What would you say?
So this is the 2017 Ed Meads Vineyard.
So it's Ed Meads. Okay.
Yes.
We debated. I didn't know if it was more Latin like Edemize.
Nope.
I never actually heard someone from the winery say it, and so I want to make sure I was right. So Ed Meads. Okay. Cool.
Yeah, it's one of the older vineyard established vineyards. Excuse me, in Anderson Valley. Forever it was planted to Zinfandel, and as I think the Zinfandel just started to fail, and it's become more of a Pinot Noir, and Chardonnay vineyard. But it's an incredible site. It's kind of the best of both worlds. It's middle to deep end of the Anderson Valley, and for those that aren't familiar, it's kind of a pointy shaped valley where it gets skinnier as you get to the coast, and it's a little bit wider further inland. You get towards the town of Boonville. When you're near the Boonville end, the southeastern side of the valley, a little more sunshine on the valley floor, a little bit more heat. As you go towards the coast, as the valley gets skinnier, there's much more coastal effect, more fog that hangs around in the mornings, and so that middle to deep end is much cooler, especially at at average elevations.
Yeah.
But Ed Meads is kind of the best of both worlds because it's a little bit more middle reach of that valley, and so the fog burns off a little bit earlier. It gets a little more sunshine, but it's not, it doesn't get scorched when we have a heat wave. So it's, to me, the best of both worlds. It delivers that juiciness and that real, friendly kind of character, but it's still retaining some real nice brightness. It's got really great energy to it. So yeah, it's a great vineyard too, because let's see, the vines here are all planted in, late 90s, early 2000s. We got a mix of Dijon clones to play with, and we got some Calera. We have Swan there.
Cool.
And so it's truly fun to work with, because all the different blocks we pick are all very unique. I feel like a lot of vineyards kind of just sometimes clone just kind of, that the character of the clone kind of goes away as the vineyard gets established, but it's quite the difference between how the Swan and the Calera perform compared to the Dijon stuff. The Dijon stuff's always juicy, a lot of roundness, and then you got like the Calera and the Swan are just, they got high aromatics. They don't really get that great a color, but they got that, piercing energy, which is
Right.
just really fun at the blending table.
Yeah, no, that's super rad. Um, yeah, I mean, this wine, like I said, I've had it. I guess I opened it. No, I think I opened it at 2 o'clock today. Had my first glass at 2 o'clock or 2:30 or so, and then I'm having another glass now. It's actually kind of amazing how it opened up, and frankly, I think it gained energy. I feel like there's the acid's showing a little bit more like than it was before, in a good way. It's really, I think there's always that really nice supple fruitness there, that suave fruit, but the acid, what it's doing, it's really nicely balanced. I think it's a really pretty wine. And sorry if did you do whole cluster on this at all?
Not really. We, for some reason, in Anderson Valley, we don't, whole cluster is kind of not always successful for us. We continue to experiment with whole cluster. So there's sometimes maybe a barrel will make it into a blend, but as a rule, like, whole cluster doesn't seem to work up in Anderson Valley, because a lot of times for me, the fruit never really extracts and gets that deep color. So if you put stems on something that's lighter
Yeah.
in color, it looks prematurely
Yeah.
oxidized.
Yeah,
And so
totally.
it's just kind of a funny look. So it doesn't really work. But we still try every year, and we're hoping to kind of crack the code on that. We really love whole cluster on the Sonoma coast, because we really feel it kind of gives a spine and a little more posture to the more juicier quality that you get in the coast.
Yeah. Do you think it's just because in Anderson Valley it's cool? I mean, I don't know. Anderson Valley is kind of weird, because it's like, I don't know. It's a weird area in general. Like, grow grapes. It's so cool. Do you think the stems just aren't getting to where you need to, where they express in a really positive way in fermentation?
Yeah,
Or
I guess I wouldn't be scared if, I think, because I joke that we pick our grapes when they're al dente, so they're, so
I
maybe
like that.
sometimes the skins aren't fully like stereotypically like softened up, like they're kind of just on that edge, and maybe the were to like hang a few blocks a little bit longer and get those skins a little bit more developed, it might give me a deeper color that might in turn, make more sense for whole cluster. But yeah, we're
No,
yeah,
I get it, dude. I mean, I have vineyards that are a mile away from each other, and I'm like, I don't stems just don't work. They kind of sit on top. They just, I mean, I mean, sometimes stems just don't work out with places.
yeah.
It is what it is. I mean, and I'm sure you like wines with stems in it. I imagine you do. Just like I think a lot of us winemakers, we love it, but we love it to a certain extent, because it can be an outlier in a wine, and just kind of be there, and you're like, damn, now this wine just tastes like green stems. Shit. Whoops.
Yeah, and sometimes it doesn't always translate in the tasting room. It's like
Totally. Yeah.
if a bunch of us winemakers are just sitting around, yeah, like we get all geeked out about it, and we can
Yeah.
tolerate it if it's maybe over the top. Um, but yeah, sometimes at the end of the day, not every customer that comes through the tasting room is like that kind of customer,
Yeah. Want some stems, man. Yeah, right. Yeah.
But it really works well on Sonoma Coast for us. So yeah, but
I mean, this wine's great. I'm gonna drink a little more.
yeah, it's kind of funny when you first open it. It's like I always feel like it's all savory and dead, but then when it gets some air, the fruit starts to pop and like that energy pops out. So I'm
Yeah.
always paranoid when I first open it. I'm like, this wine it's no good right now, and then a little time
No, man,
it
dude.
unleashes.
Well, it's funny because this is a 17, and it's funny because I felt 17, at least down here, had a little more kind of bite to it early on, and it took some time for those wines to kind of open up, kind of show off their fruit, and just in general. And I don't know if that's the same with you up there, because I didn't. 2020 was kind of shut down. I didn't get a lot of talk to. I get to talk to a lot of people, but I'm just curious. Like, since this is a 17, were you seeing the same thing with 17 wines? It kind of took a time, like some time to kind of come around.
Yeah, I was like sometimes I'd make fun of winemakers who say, "Oh, my wines went into a dumb phase or they shut down for a while." But then I really saw that with the 17s. Like I was so pumped on them prior to bottling, and then a couple months later, you're like, "What happened?" But then they like came back, and that's the magic of winemaking. There's things you can't control or explain. When I'm selling wine or telling people about like how we decide to pick our grapes. Um, it's like you have sugar, you have acid, you have these things you can measure, but then like the really special years just have those intangibles that you can't really measure. It's like you just kind of know when you have a good vintage on hand. So
Yeah, no, totally. Yeah, it's funny. I feel like 17, like tasting a lot of 17s now. I'm like, dude, it's gonna end up being a really good vintage. It's just gonna take time for it to flesh out, I guess. I always like the wines, but I don't know. Whatever. It just takes time sometimes
yeah,
with these vintages. Um, so I know we're barking on 30 minutes, so let me end with you've been to World of Pinot Noir, correct?
I have. Yeah, and I
Okay.
can't wait to
Uh,
get back.
yeah, yeah, exactly. So I like to end these things. It's like all right, what's your deal with World of Pinot Noir? What do you like about it? What's you know?
Well, I mean, for me, it's always just a first and foremost, whether it's just always great to catch up with people you don't see,
Right.
especially if you do the tech symposium. You get to kind of hang out with other winemakers for a few days and talk shop, kind of behind the curtain, and then Friday comes and then it's like, all right, let's go, and
Yeah,
I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it's a good party.
it's a fun time. Yeah.
I, in my wild days, there's just some bad things maybe have happened, just drinking too much and all that. But anyways, it's just good because you can really truly get an incredible snapshot of what's going on in the world of Pinot. And it's always cool because there's other producers from all over the world, and new discoveries. I mean, like one of my favorite moments in the tech symposium early on in my career was there was some Swiss producers there. And I was like,
Oh yeah, yeah,
Swiss
totally.
Pinot Noir, like, oh my God, like
Yeah,
I didn't even know that existed at that point in my career. And, and then tasting German Pinots and then obviously being exposed to like some of the great Burgundy producers and some of the seminars. So yeah, it kind of re-inspires you, and you, I don't know, is there a world of Cabernet? Is there a world of
yeah,
Merlot?
yeah.
It's like, um,
That's
it's
true.
just
I mean,
like
there really isn't. I mean, the
it's
only
more
thing
of
I
an obsessive kind of varietal. The
it,
fans of Pinot are just definitely way more nerdy, which
isn't
I'm a
that
nerd, so
wild? I know, I know. I don't even. I mean, hey, I get it. I'm like, yes, I love Pinot, but it is funny. It is a obsessive varietal, and you
I
don't
mean,
get that.
we love to argue about it. It's funny. You go on the
Oh,
forums, like people argue about
dude,
Pinot more than anything, and it's
dude.
fun because it's I love some of the old battles Adam Lee would get into.
Oh, the best, man.
I kind of wish
Well,
that it's been quiet lately. I kind of wish there was a new Pinot controversy to like
yeah,
get in the ring
yeah.
on because I think it really helps everyone step up their game, and maybe that kind of helps balance the industry because maybe people were picking way too ripe for a while, and then people started picking way too early, and
It's a
maybe we need to
battle.
have more heated debates.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It's funny you speak of like Adam because he people will pick fights with him or he'll just be like give some information on something. I think a lot of people don't realize how intelligent Adam Lee is. He's very intelligent and he will debate you and he's got facts to back his debate. So
Well, the funny thing is back in the day, like we'd be on like Wine Berserkers or something, and I'd
yeah,
be sitting with him in his office, and sometimes he'd argue, but he people would be mad, but he's like, people don't realize this guy's just giggling back here. He's not
yeah,
like
yeah, yeah,
he's not
exactly.
like really mad at somebody,
He's not
some.
mad. No, he just thinks it's funny. Yeah, exactly.
So
I
yeah, it's
love it.
always good times.
Yeah. Well, awesome, man. Well, for people out there, there's still a couple seminars available to purchase. So get on worldofpinotnoir.com. Get on that. Get awesome wines like these Copain wines. And dude, this has been great, man. Ryan, I appreciate you coming on here.
Thanks for
I'm
having me.
stoked that you sent me a bottle and I get to drink this bottle. This is a great Friday night for me. So let your kids get you laughing, and hey, man, have a good night, dude.
They think I'm on like TV. It's funny. I'm like, it's I'm not. We're
Tell me
not
you
on.
are. Tell me you are.
Yeah,
Tell them I'm Tom Brokaw. All right,
this is
like
Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise. Yeah. If
So
that works, man, whatever works, dude, I'll play the part, man.
cool.
Awesome, dude. Well, have a good weekend, dude.
You too. You too.
Yeah,
Great talking to
everybody
you,
out
and
there. Yeah, for sure.
can't wait to see you
Everybody
in
out
front.
there. Yeah, good to see you too. Have a good weekend. Go to worldofpinotnoir.com. Let's get some seminars going and some silent auctions. Later.
See ya.